The clock on Jesse Parker's phone blinked insistently, 8:43 a.m. His heart pounded in rhythm with his footsteps as he sprinted across the parking lot, the old shirt clinging to his skin with the faint stain of milk from the rushed morning. His tie hung crooked, knotted in haste, and in his hand he clutched a blue folder like a lifeline. Inside wasn't just his resume. There was a crumpled drawing slipped in by his 7-year-old son Noah that morning. Scrawled in bright crayons, "Best dad in the world." Noah had hugged his leg at the door, whispering, "Dad, don't be late. I want you to get the job, so we don't have to move again." Jesse had promised, "I'll make it, I swear." Now, with only 17 minutes until his 9 a.m. interview, this was his last shot after 3 months of unemployment. Miss it, and the door slammed shut. Fail, and next week's rent. He didn't know where it would come from. 8:44 a.m. He veered onto the shortcut sidewalk leading straight to the gleaming glass building downtown. The city was waking up, cars humming by pedestrians bundled against the crisp morning air. Jesse's mind raced rehearse the answers, smile confident. Don't mention the gaps in employment. Then a piercing cry shattered the hum. "Help, please!" Jesse froze mid-stride. On the curb, a woman in a professional coat was yanking her heel from a sewer grate. She twisted, pulling harder, but it only wedged deeper. A passing scooter whizzed by too close, sending her stumbling to her knees with a sharp gasp, her face paling in pain. Passers-by glanced and kept walking. One man paused briefly, then averted his eyes and hurried on. No one stopped. The woman looked up, her eyes red and desperate. "Please, I can't get up." Jesse checked his phone, 8:45 a.m. 15 minutes left. The building loomed at the end of the block, mocking him. It was right there, a gateway to stability, to keeping his promise to Noah. But then he looked back at the woman trembling on the cold pavement, cars speeding perilously close. Her hand reached out, vulnerable. 2 voices clashed in his head. "Run! Noah's waiting." And if that was Noah out there, who'd you want to stop? Jesse gripped the folder tighter, the edges crinkling under his fingers. He swallowed hard. In a decision that would stun anyone hearing it, he turned away from the building and ran toward her instead. He knelt down, his knees scraping the rough concrete. "Don't move. I'll get it out," the woman sobbed. "But aren't you in a hurry?" Jesse glanced at your phone one last time, 8:46 a.m. 14 minutes. He bent lower, steadying her ankle with one hand while twisting the heel with the other, careful not to tear her skin. His voice was calm but edged with urgency. "I am, but I don't walk past someone stuck." As he worked, the seconds ticked away. Would Jesse make his life-changing interview? Or had his act of kindness just cost him and his son everything? Jesse finally twisted the heel free from the grate with a sharp pop. The woman gasped, stumbling forward as her foot released, but she crumpled to the ground, clutching her ankle. It was already swelling, turning an angry red. Her face drained of color, and she winced through gritted teeth. "Are you okay?" Jesse asked, dropping to one knee beside her. He helped her lean against a nearby lamppost, his hands steady despite the adrenaline surging through him. "I should call 911. She shook her head weakly, breathing heavily. I think it's just twisted. Thank you. So much." Jesse glanced at his phone, 8:51 a.m. He'd lost nearly 5 minutes. The building was still a 10-minute sprint away. He shoved the folder under his arm and stood. "Sit tight. Don't try to stand yet. Someone will come by. She grabbed his sleeve lightly, her voice trembling. Wait. What's your name? Jesse pulled away gently, not out of rudeness, but because every second felt like a weight pulling him under. Doesn't matter. Just stay away from the cars. He turned and bolted, his shoes pounding the pavement. As he ran, memories flooded in Noah's small hand, waving goodbye that morning, his eyes wide with hope. Dad, don't be late. The boy's voice echoed in Jesse's mind, laced with the fear of another move, another school, another upheaval. And that drawing in the folder, those crayon strokes declaring him the best dad. It was all the motivation he had left after months of rejection, scraping by on odd jobs and dwindling savings. Come on. Make it, he muttered under his breath, pushing harder. His lungs burned, but the building grew closer. He could do this. For Noah. He burst into the lobby at 9:03 a.m., skidding slightly on the polished marble floor. Sweat beaded on his forehead, his shirt untucked from the run. The receptionist looked up, her expression neutral as she checked the clock. Jesse Parker, he panted, leaning on the counter. Interview at 9 o'clock. She typed something into her computer, then shook her head. I'm sorry, sir. The interviewer has already started their next meeting. Our policy is strict, no waiting, for late arrivals. Jesse's stomach dropped. Please. I had a reason. I was helping someone, she interrupted politely but firmly. You can reschedule if there's an opening, but I can't guarantee one. If there's an opening, hit like a punch. It meant maybe never. Jesse stared at the closed conference room door, feeling the world narrow. I was only 3 minutes late. The receptionist softened slightly. They evaluate from the first minute here. He backed away, the folder heavy in his hand. Outside, the morning air felt colder. He slumped against the building wall, opening the folder to stare at Noah's drawing. The colors blurred as his eyes stung. I'm sorry, kid. His phone buzzed a text from Noah. Dad interview done, waiting for good news. Jesse's thumb hovered over the screen. How could he reply admitting failure meant shattering that boy's hope? He pocketed the phone, standing alone amid the bustling street, feeling utterly isolated. He'd helped someone, and now, this. While others ignored her and arrived on time, the unfairness clawed at him. Good deeds punished, indifference rewarded. Then his phone rang again, an unknown number. He answered hoarsely. Hello, Mr. Jesse Parker. A professional female voice. Please return to the building immediately. His breath caught. Who's this? The executive office. Jesse stood frozen on the sidewalk, the phone still pressed to his ear. Return, now. Yes, the voice replied crisply. 10 minutes, and don't leave the area. The line went dead. Jesse's mind reeled a trap. A mistake, but he had nothing to lose. He pocketed the phone and ran back toward the glass building, his legs heavy with confusion and a flicker of desperate hope. Don't let Noah down. He thought the words a mantra, pushing him forward. 9:18. The security guard led him straight to the elevators up to a high floor where the air felt cooler, more sterile. The hallway was lined with sleek offices, names etched on frosted glass. Jesse's reflection in the door showed a disheveled man's shirt, rumpled face flushed. The guard opened a conference room door and gestured him in. The room was long with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. A polished table stretched out, papers scattered at one end. At the head sat a high-backed chair turned away from him. A file folder lay open. On the table, recruitment documents. Mr. Jesse Parker. A woman's voice said calm and familiar. Jesse stiffened. That voice, it was the woman from the grate. The chair swiveled slowly. And there she was. But transformed. No mud-streaked coat, no panic in her eyes. She wore a sharp black blazer, her hair pulled into a neat bun exuding authority. A nameplate on the table read, Pilar Navarro, Director of Operations. Jesse's mouth went dry. You're the woman you stopped to help at 8:45. Pilar finished, her gaze steady. And the one deciding who joins this company. He staggered back a step, mind racing. So, the grate, was that some kind of test? Pilar shook her head firmly. No. I was genuinely stuck. Rushing to a meeting heel caught real life, not a setup. What stuck with me was how you saw me as a person, not an inconvenience. She paused, leaning forward. You knew you'd be late for your interview. Why stop? Jesse's hand trembled as he opened his folder. Noah's drawing slipped out, sliding across the table toward her, the crayon scrawl bold and innocent. Because of my son, he said, voice cracking. I promised him I'd be someone he could be proud of if I'd walked past you. I might get a job, but I'd lose the right to look him in the eye. Pilar picked up the drawing, her expression softening for a brief moment. She set it down carefully. Kindness is one thing, she said, her tone shifting back to professional steel. Competence is another. She slid a thick report across the table. Our quarterly financials have an error. My team argued for 2 days without spotting it. If you're the right candidate, take 10 minutes and find it. Jesse blinked. Is this the interview? Both, Pilar replied. We don't hire on pity here. He sat flipping through the pages, charts of revenues, expenses, regional breakdowns. Numbers swam before his eyes, but he focused. As a former warehouse accountant, he knew spreadsheets like old friends. He scanned the liabilities section, cross-referencing with the footnotes. There, a negative sign misplaced on the refund liabilities line. It inflated profits by 8%. Skewing the entire bonus projection. He grabbed a pen, circling it. Here, the refund entry from the subsidiary system has the wrong sign. Flip it and the charts downstream correct themselves. A staff member in the room leaned in skeptical. That can't be, Jesse pointed to the source note. Check the invoices from week 3. The main system logs them positive, but the subsystem flipped it. If you present this to the board tomorrow, it'll unravel. The room fell silent. Pilar nodded to her assistant. Verify week 3. 5 minutes later, the assistant returned, face pale. It's wrong. He's right. Murmurs rippled through the room. Pilar met Jesse's eyes. You just saved me from a boardroom disaster. Jesse exhaled, the tension easing slightly. I just did what was right. Pilar stood, pushing an envelope toward him, a job offer letter. I'm not hiring you because you helped me. I'm hiring you because you helped me, and you're skilled enough to belong here. Jesse stared at the paper, throat tight. But I was late. You were late saving someone, Pilar cut in. If we penalize that this company doesn't deserve to exist. She paused, her gaze piercing. One more question. Will you stand up to a mistake even if it's from someone in power? Jesse glanced at Noah's drawing. I've stopped for someone stuck while the world walked by. I'll stop for what's wrong no matter who says to keep going. Pilar nodded slowly. Good. But remember, not everyone here will welcome that. Jesse started that afternoon handed a key card and a stack of onboarding forms. As he navigated the open plan office, heads turned curious glances from colleagues who'd heard whispers of the late applicant who somehow got in. Pilar introduced him briefly in a team huddle, her tone matter-of-fact. Jesse brings fresh eyes. Use them. Not everyone warmed to the idea. Gordon, a mid-level manager with a perpetual scowl and a tie too tight, cornered him at the coffee machine. So the guy who showed up late still lands the gig standards must be slipping. Jesse paused, stirring his coffee. He remembered Pilar's question about standing up. I was late because I helped someone. If that's a problem, I'm sorry you've never tried it. Gordon's face darkened, his jaw clenching. Watch yourself, newbie. He stormed off, leaving a chill in the air. Pilar, overhearing from her office, didn't intervene. She watched as if gauging Jesse's resolve. The shift to home that evening was a balm. Jesse raced to Noah's school, arriving just as the bell rang. Noah stood alone at the gate, backpack slung low, scanning the crowd. When he spotted his dad, his face lit up, but uncertainty lingered in his eyes. Dad, did you bomb the interview? Jesse knelt, pulling out the offer letter. No, buddy. I got it. Noah stared at the paper, then burst into tears. Not sad ones, but the kind that came from pent-up fear releasing. I was scared you'd be sad, that we'd have to move. Jesse hugged him tight, breathing in the scent of playground dirt and crayons. I'm sorry I worried you, but remember, I kept my promise to be the dad you can be proud of. Noah sniffled, nodding. So, you're still the best dad, Jesse's voice caught. I try every day. A week later, Pilar summoned him to her office. I need you on Project Puentes, bridging corporate funds to family support programs. One wrong number and the board tears it apart. Gordon, lurking in the doorway, snorted. Handing a key project to the rookie, you're insane. Pilar's eyes narrowed. I own the risk. Jesse dove in, poring over spreadsheets late into the night. That evening, as he cross-checked figures, a storm rolled in, unexpectedly thunder-rumbling, lights flickering. His phone buzzed, Consuelo the neighbor watching Noah. He's panicking with the thunder, crying for you. Can you come? Jesse stared at the screen, then the report. Noah's fear of storms was a holdover from their tougher days. He called Pilar. I'm sorry I have to get my son. Silence stretched for 2 seconds. Go. If work makes you abandon family, it's not worth it. Jesse grabbed his coat and ran through the downpour to Consuelo's. Noah was huddled on the couch, tears streaming. Dad, Jesse scooped him up. I'm here, buddy. Always. 6 months passed in a blur of adjustments. Jesse's shirts fit better now, pressed and professional. Noah had a new desk in their apartment secondhand, but sturdy for homework, without the worry of eviction notices. Consuelo smiled one morning. You're steady now, Jesse. It shows. Project Puentes launched successfully. In the boardroom, Pilar presented the polished figures, crediting Jesse's catches that averted disasters. 40 families gained aid-job training scholarships for kids. Gordon, who'd fought at every step, extended a hand. Afterward, forced, but public. Solid work, he muttered the words, tasting sour. Pilar addressed the team at the wrap-up event. Some bridges are steel, others are built from daily choices. Jesse heard the echo of his own words from that first day, glancing at Noah in the audience, dressed in a little button-up, beaming like his dad was a hero. Afterward, in the quiet hallway, Pilar approached. I've climbed ladders for 12 years. Today, that felt like building something real. Jesse checked his phone. Noah's text, "Home for dinner." He replied yes, then met her eyes. "I have to get back to him." She nodded, but her gaze lingered. "Someday, if you'll allow it, I'd like dinner with you both, not for work, to learn what family feels like." Jesse hesitated, then said softly, "We'll go slow." After the Puentes ceremony wrapped, the lobby emptied slowly, echoes of congratulations fading into the hum of evening traffic outside. Jesse lingered by the windows, gazing down at the city lights flickering on like distant stars. Stability felt foreign after so long scraping by, but it was real now, no more eviction fears, no more rationing meals. A soft footstep approached. Pilar, carrying 2 steaming cups from the lobby kiosk. She handed one to him without a word. I remembered Noah likes hot cocoa. Jesse took it, the warmth seeping through the cup. "Thanks." They stood in companionable silence for a moment, the weight of the day settling. "I've spent 12 years climbing," Pilar said quietly, staring out the window. "Power deals, proving myself, but today, it felt like creating something that lasts." Jesse nodded. "You've got wounds too, don't you?" She glanced at him, her guard lowering. "No family left, just the ladder, until now." He checked his phone, a text from Noah, "Home for dinner." He typed back quickly, then met her eyes. "Project approved. Analyst role with flexible hours. Noah won't have to switch schools." Pilar smiled faintly. "You gave him more than stability. You taught him what matters." That evening, Jesse unlocked the apartment door. Noah was waiting, clutching the wrinkled best dad in the world, drawing like a talisman. "Dad, you're home." Jesse knelt, pulling him into a hug. "Missed you, buddy." Noah pulled back, his small face serious. "Dad, do you regret being late that day?" Jesse paused, the question hitting deep. "I was upset, but no regrets." "Why not?" Noah's eyes searched his. "Because if I'd walked past her," Jesse said softly, "I might have gotten the job sooner, but I'd have lost the right to be your dad, the one you trust." Noah's lip quivered, tears spilling. "I was scared you'd become like those people who just walk by." Jesse kissed his forehead. "I promise I'll always be your dad, the one who stops." 2 days later, a knock echoed through the apartment. Jesse opened it to find Pilar, casual in jeans and a sweater, holding a paper bag. "I brought soup and bread, if the offer still stands." Noah peeked from behind Jesse, eyes wide. "Ms. Pilar," she knelt to his level, "I came to apologize to you and to ask if I can join dinner." Noah glanced at Jesse, who nodded. "Come in," the boy said. Our house is small, but it's warm." The meal was simple. Pilar's homemade soup, fresh bread, a salad Jesse whipped up. Laughter filled the cramped kitchen as Noah chattered about school science projects and his dream of building bridges like Puentes. After, Noah thrust crayons at Pilar. "Can you draw?" She hesitated, then took one. "I'm terrible at this." "No problem," Noah said. "Dad says everything can be learned." Pilar sketched a wobbly bridge, scribbling below. "A bridge is built one choice at a time," Noah clapped. "It's beautiful." Pilar's eyes welled up. "No one's called something I made beautiful, unless it made money." Jesse met her gaze. "You heard it today." As she prepared to leave, Jesse walked her to the door. In the hallway, Pilar paused. "I won't ask for a fairy tale ending. Just permission to step into your lives slowly, if you'll allow it." Jesse considered her, the vulnerability in her eyes mirroring his own past scars. I don't know the future, but Noah deserves adults who apologize and stay. If you can do that, the door won't close. Pilar nodded, tears glistening. I will. From inside, Noah's sleepy voice called, Dad. Ms. Pilar, draw another bridge tomorrow. Jesse turned back, smiling faintly. Some bridges weren't made of money. They were built from one moment of choosing to stop, when the world chose to walk by. If you were Jesse, would you risk the opportunity to do what's right and what's your right thing in real life?